G'day, mate. 40 here. So I was just walking down the road here in God's country, and in Pico Robertson, where all the Orthodox Jews are, and there's this big billboard, "Hunger can be hard to recognize." And I just had a thought. You know why hunger is so hard to recognize in America? Because there isn't any. Nobody's dying of hunger in America. People aren't dying of malnutrition in America. In fact, the opposite's the problem. People are eating too much. Like half of adult Americans are obese. So I'm just sick of these, left-wing schemes to get more government intervention, to instill more guilt in God-fearing people such as myself. We need more money for social services. We need more money for social workers, because the signs of hunger, guys, hunger can be hard to recognize. No, it's not. You know what is hard to recognize? Sometimes when people are drowning, that can be hard to recognize, right? Love hunger, right? That can be hard to recognize. We've got millions of incels, right? Their hunger to love and to be loved can be hard to recognize. But we don't have people dropping dead from hunger in the United States. So instead, the left whip up hysteria over food insecurity. Did you know that we have tens of millions of Americans suffering from food insecurity, which we're supposed to equate with hunger? It's like when global warming wasn't getting the social and political success that its activists wanted, they changed it to climate change. I mean, how can you argue against climate change or food insecurity? All right? There's always been a changing climate. The climate will keep changing, right? You can't argue against climate change because the climate will always be changing. And food insecurity, so people may not have everything lined up, but then they're not dropping dead from hunger. And then we hear about housing insecurity. Well, if you have a job, right, you can find a place to live, but it may not be the place that you want, right? It may not be in the area that you want, right? So you don't get to live in San Diego or Malibu or in Beverly Hills. So therefore, you've got housing insecurity. I mean, these manufactured crises that always seem to be heading in the same direction. More government spending on social services, more social workers, more government intervention into our lives, more top-down direction from the elite, all right, the anointed, right, the ones who know better than we do. So they're always going on with some scam. That's what makes like regular God-fearing people such as myself a little bit suspicious with regard to many of the claims about global warming, because they always lead in the direction of people's pre-existing political prejudices, right? You want more government intervention. Hey, 40, I got access to an image AI. Oh, that'd be interesting. Any requests? So is that one of those services that the normal price is like $40 a day? And now I can always move in with Luke and be his personal assistant. I like my space. But I don't know, I just get kind of tired of being hectored by the anointed with messages like hunger can be hard to recognize. I mean, what about meaning insecurity? Right? A good deal of the population leads lives of quiet desperation. Right? People, unless they're devoted to a cause, unless they're connected to other people, they're very likely to start feeling increasingly crushed by their insignificance. And it's not so much the fear of death, it's the fear of dying and having led an insignificant life. Right? That is a burden. That's real. That's crushing tens of millions of Americans. But the signs of feeling insignificant can be hard to recognize. Would that be a winning billboard campaign? But it's an important issue, right? We all need to feel significant, so we develop hero systems to ward off our feelings of insignificance. And so Like, not everyone can be a brilliant live streamer, creating live streams that will go down in history, that people will be watching 50, 100, 200, 300 years from now, and mining and mining and mining these live streams for ever greater levels of wisdom and insight. So not everyone can do that, right? Not everyone can be a great artist or a great painter or a great writer. So people, generally speaking, find their significance by subscribing to a hero system and comporting themselves within that hero system in a heroic way. So usually people will say join a religion, join a type of politics, join communal social organizations, or be upstanding members of their family. That they're a bulwark for their relatives, right? The head of family, they provide for a family, they nurture, raise kids. All right, that's where people are going to get their meaning. But still, we have a genuine problem with tens of millions of Americans and other people in the world just feeling absolutely crushed by their insignificance. So I would say the signs of feeling insignificant can be hard to recognize, but that is a far more pressing problem than this bogus campaign. Hunger can be hard to recognize, so let's call it food insecurity. Let's not call them homeless, let's call them unhoused persons who are suffering from housing insecurity. You know what's a great cure for housing insecurity, food insecurity, mammoth quantities of debt, poverty, under-earning? Get a full-time job, right? Get a full-time job, and most of those problems will start to diminish. And then at the end of the day, generally speaking, you'll be so tired that most of your other problems will also diminish in significance. Bye-bye.